sweet Danish. But you're always looking at the way, if that is there. So, I'm glad that you put me in the session immediately after that. And that the topic is also very heavy. So, I think we would need to work so much harder because the first session has gone well, and now we need to do better than that. And all of us are ready and prepared. I think I have distinguished people on my panel who would make it very easy for me to take you through this session. Though it is after lunch, I think only Mr. Vishwanathan has a presentation, then we would give the light. But by that time, I hope I would have made you fully awake, and we would have great 90 minutes. Coming to IIMA is always so heartening, and it is such a privilege and pleasure to come to the institute, which has been world class, where I studied for 2 years, from 79 to 81. And I think over the last 15 years, my engagement with the institute has intensified. And I'm enjoying it so much. I come here to teach as a class. I have written cases with professors of IIMA. I come here to teach at management development programs to working managers. I was part of the committee which was celebrating 50 years of IIMA. Last 2-3 years I am president of Alumni Association. And I'm in my bed and some of the beds the closest to the institute physically because my house is about 4-5 kilometers from the institute. And so is my office. So physically I'm closer. But I think more than that, the way IIM has embraced me in so many ways, it has made my life so much worthwhile. And I'm so happy that I'm here at the institute talking to all of you and kind of sharing with all of you whatever I've learned at IIMA and in my life after that. This event today would not have been possible without, I think, 2 people who worked at it. I would request that all of us join in applauding Nirima as well. Indian Army and Indian Navy, I think, met me about 2 months back, and then we met at least a dozen times, and I think they would have talked to my office at least once every alternate day with the highs and lows of organizing an event like this for somebody who came from Army or other background to a new city like Bangalore, of funds, of speakers, of arrangements, of this would happen or not. And I have been with them throughout this journey, and I have enjoyed highs and lows. Thanks to them for involving me in this, and that today we are in this event, I think, thanks to their dedicated efforts where they went on, and I think we made this event happen. I would like to talk about today's pattern structure. What we would do is have about 15 minutes each by the 3 eminent panelists that we have after my opening remarks. And then we would have question answers in the form of a panel discussion and in the spirit of panel discussion. And then we would have some concluding remarks prepared by me. So that's how we are planning. Would you please keep time management with you so that, because all of us get engrossed in speaking completely when we do so. So 15 minutes, and if you could let us know so that we are perfect on time management. Now let me talk about ethics and ethics in governance. Why this topic? Why this ethics in governance only? Because I feel that ethics are present in your life source, which means that you cannot be unethical at home and be ethical at all. So if you are ethical, you are ethical everywhere, in governance and everywhere else. If you are not, then you are not. And you would not be also at the governance that you do. One definition I like about ethics is when you know the difference between what is your right to do and what is right for you to do. When you know that difference, you are ethical. You understand that though this is your right to do, not do that because your own value system, your beliefs don't allow you to do that. So ethics is not about feelings alone when you feel it right, because at times feelings sway us. It is not about only legal, which I am sure Mr. Vishwanathan would talk more about, because though it might be legal for us to do certain things, I don't think they would be ethical, and therefore it needs to pass through our own value system for us to decide whether this is ethical or not. Having said that, I think it's a lot of gray areas when it comes to ethics. What is right and wrong is not necessarily right and wrong all the time. We don't choose between a right and a wrong, we choose at times between lesser evil and more evil, or a larger good and a smaller good. I would like to ask, as we think about ethics, as to how many of us feel that we are leading ethical lives. Thank you. I would like to talk about creating a world. Welcome. I would like to talk about a world where every hand is raised, where all of us feel and know that we are ethical, where being ethical becomes easy, where becoming ethical is the only way for us to be. I will explain as to what I am trying to tell you. Like in Western countries, it is easy for a common man to have cleanliness. In India, it is difficult. But when we go there abroad, say in America, what we do is every time that we wipe, we put our tissue inside. So in America, they have been able to create a society where being clean becomes effortless, where being clean becomes easy. Can we also create a society where being ethical becomes easy? I think we have been able to create up till now exactly the opposite. When I tell some of the professor friends or some other people in life as to, आप गजर भी नहीं करते हो, you are in Gujarat, enterprising जगह है, तो कुछ enterprise करिए. And they say, हमारे लिए नहीं है, पूरे धंधे में तो सब कुछ करना पड़ता है. Are we saying that being successful in business and being ethical are two mutually exclusive situations? So if you cannot be in business and be ethical and be successful in the business at the same time, have we created such worlds? With earlier former director Samir Barua, I used to talk about how IIMA must send its graduates to Parliament and Assembly. Because instead of advising people who rule and who are in government, how do we get into those areas ourselves? And I think when I talk to most of the batchmates and I talk to my family, they say, politics? IIMA में पढ़ाई किया ना, you go to politics. अरे कोई कर भी नहीं पाओगे. कहाँ वहाँ 50 करनी पड़ती. Again, are we saying that public life is only for people who are not ethical? Have we created such world? Can we say that ethical people and public life can go together? I think I would like to talk about corporate governance, and I'm sure some of us will talk about corporate governance. At least Mr. Ravi Saxena, who has spent his life in governance, would talk about pure governance. I would like to share with you one case, and let me tell you that I am not trying to say a right or a wrong. I am not trying to say that this is correct, this is not. Each one of us would be able to decide. My task would be very successful if I raise those questions, if I make you think on those lines. Coal India Limited went public a few years ago. The government of India. A hedge fund from the United Kingdom called the Citadel Investment Fund, TCIF, invested in it. TCIF today is the second largest shareholder of Coal India after government. The government of India holds about 90%, TCIF holds about 2% of the total equity. For last 2 years, TCIF is in legal and other battles with Coal India Limited. The questions are two. Why Coal India Limited is signing fuel supply agreements